When we're talking about where you can and cannot legally carry your concealed handgun in the state of New Mexico, there are going to be certain places that are prohibited per state law, and then there are going to be some legal extensions that are made to property and business owners that allow those property and business owners to prohibit the carrying of firearms onto their property or into their business. And we're going to discuss these in terms of if it's prohibited per state law, then we obviously can't carry there. And then if it's at the local level or the individual business or property owner level there, we'll talk about how that affects where we can and how we can or cannot carry our firearm. First thing we want to talk about is your vehicle. New Mexico considers your vehicle an extension of your home, and that's going to be for protection against unlawful or unreasonable search and seizure. Okay, it doesn't necessarily grant the same legal privileges that you are inside of your home, your dwelling, your habitat, right, your habitation, for the use of deadly force, right. So don't let's not mix those up where the vehicle is an extension of my home. Yes, that's true for protection against government actions, not for the use of deadly force, the justifiable use of deadly force. So in the state of New Mexico, you are allowed to have a loaded firearm in your vehicle in any condition that you would like. It can be concealed, doesn't have to be. It can be on your seat, the dashboard, hanging from your rearview mirror like it's a CD in the early 2000s, okay? Wouldn't recommend that. Definitely secure a firearm so that it's going to not have an accidental or negligent discharge and so that unauthorized persons cannot gain access to it. But you can have it loaded in your vehicle. Furthermore, in the state of New Mexico, we do not have a duty to inform. So if you're involved in a traffic stop, right, you get pulled over for speeding or whatever it is, you do not have to inform the law enforcement officer that you are armed or that there's a loaded firearm in the vehicle. If the registered owner of that vehicle has a valid concealed carry license, it will show up on the officer's computer that the registered owner of that vehicle has a concealed carry license. Typically, the assumption would be that the driver of that vehicle is armed. But it's important to remember that your tags aren't always automatically ran when you're involved in a traffic stop. Okay, so how you handle that traffic stop is a decision that you need to make. The recommendation is typically going to be, my recommendation and kind of how I handle it. But again, this isn't legal advice. This is just an option, an example of what I do. Is concealed carry license on top of the driver's license, hands on the steering wheel, and await further instruction. Okay, let that officer know if he asks, yes, I am armed. Yes, I do have a firearm in the vehicle. How would you like me to proceed? And then the officer will tell you how they would like to proceed. Under no circumstances should you reach in the general direction of where your firearm is, right? So if I'm carrying at 4 o'clock, I do have a loaded firearm in the vehicle. I want to let you know that it's on my strong side hip. My wallet with my driver's license is in my back pocket, okay? Or, I'm carrying an appendix, right? It's up here by my belly button. My wallet is in my front pocket. How would you like me to proceed? If we really want to best prepare for the best outcome of that traffic stop, it's not a bad idea to have a separate way or a separate place for your driver's license, insurance, and registration. At the very least, your insurance and your registration. Okay, have that on the dashboard or in the visor above you, right? That way you can hand him that. Officer, here's my insurance and my registration. My driver's license is in my wallet in my back pocket. I do have a firearm on my person. How would you like me to proceed? This is my driver's license number, right? To minimize the risks associated, the risk for yourself and that officer during that traffic stop. He doesn't know you from Adam. Okay, he doesn't know what your intentions are. Traffic stops are relatively dangerous for law enforcement officers, so we need to do everything that we can to extend as much courtesy and respect to that officer for the duration of that traffic stop. Okay, but that's a general recommendation that we like to make is, concealed carry license on top of the driver's license and await further instruction. Give the respect to the officer that he deserves, and then proceed from there. When we're talking about, unlicensed, maybe you don't have a concealed carry license or you're waiting to get your concealed carry license in the mail, you can still have that firearm in your vehicle. You don't need to have a concealed carry license to have a firearm on your person inside of your vehicle, right? And that also extends to bicycles, motorcycles, The deal is if you don't have a concealed carry license, the minute you step out of your vehicle, off of your bicycle, or off of your motorcycle, that protection is no longer granted. You are no longer inside of your automobile. So if you don't have a concealed carry license, that firearm cannot legally be concealed. And then per state law, these will be the places that are prohibited for handguns. It's going to be into or onto those premises where to do so would violate state or federal law. Right. On school premises, it's going to be a 4th-degree felony. If it's a university premises, as you saw in the New Mexico statutes, it would be a petty misdemeanor. In a courthouse or court facility, obviously that's prohibited, off limits for being armed. You cannot have your concealed handgun on you or open carry. Tribal land is going to be, that tribal land, those reservations, those are considered sovereign nations. So they will have their own laws and rules regulating who cannot carry or be in possession of firearms. The safe assumption is going to be that you cannot have your firearm on your person or in your vehicle on tribal land. Okay. So that's the safe assumption from there. If you can have it and you don't have it, great. But if you can't have it and you do have it, that can cause you some problems. Now, if you're on a U.S. maintained government highway or road traveling through a reservation, then you're going to be under the jurisdiction of the United States government. However, if you stop off and you're on the tribal road, or you stop off to get gas and you are on a tribal road, it's going to be their rules and their laws that apply. You can also not have your firearm in airport security zones. In the state of New Mexico, you can have your firearm on you in the airport. You just cannot go past the security checkpoint, TSA checkpoint. Any federal property is going to be prohibited for carry. On private property, if the owner has posted signs or verbally communicates that firearms are prohibited. Okay, so if it's a licensed liquor establishment or a K through 12 school, it's going to be a 4th-degree felony. Okay. If it's federal property, you're going to be dealing with federal laws. If it's a courthouse or court facility, you're going to be dealing with state laws, and that's most likely going to be into the realm of a felony. However, if it's a private business or private property, it's going to be a petty misdemeanor. And then while consuming alcohol or while impaired by the use of alcohol or other substances. So in the state of New Mexico, it is illegal to be in possession of a handgun while you are also under the influence of alcohol, intoxicating liquors, or other controlled substances. And then we have we have another video that deals with licensed liquor establishments exclusively. If you have any questions on where you can or cannot carry, or if you're out and about and you see some no